لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Praise be to Allah, the Lord, cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, the master of the day of judgment. All praise is due to Allah, and Allah's peace and blessings be upon His last messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, His pure family, His loyal companions, and all those who follow them with righteousness and good deeds until the day of judgment. Ameen. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran that property and children are but adornment in this world, something that people like and enjoy. However, children in Islam have a very specific and special status. First of all, they are a blessing and a gift from Allah Almighty to you. And I know, yes, for sure, children come with their own responsibilities and troubles and difficulties and expenses. That is a reality in life. But just to understand the importance of this gift in your inner soul, look at anyone who is denied these blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, someone who does not have children, and see the length of troubles and expenses he is ready to go to just to have one child. That is something that is very unique. However, sadly, most of us do not appreciate it in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because it's normal. We already have it, so we're only thinking about the problems that are coming with them. We're not thinking about them as a bless from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, already something to enjoy in this world, and with a responsibility as well. The responsibility has already been highlighted by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, saying that each and every one of you is a guardian, is in charge, and he is responsible about those under his charge. Then the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam specifically mentioned the man, the husband, the father. He is a guardian and he is responsible about his family. Now, the biggest part of this responsibility, besides taking care of them, the natural needs, etc., there is one thing that is very critical, which is educating them, teaching and educating them. And here we have actually two different words, although many times they are used in the same sense. Knowledge per se is something, and education is something with an extra. So it's not only knowledge. So you have to teach them good knowledge, beneficial knowledge. But you also have to care about their well-being, morally, psychologically, and in behavior. So you have to teach them morals and good deeds and good understanding. All of that should be based on correct understanding of the religion of Islam. Now, by the way, if you do that, the benefit will be for everyone. But if you neglect that, the harm will also be for everyone. That is a ripple effect. It's not only the person himself will be affected or you alone, but the whole society as well. Can you imagine that children by nature, they are curious. They want to learn. So if he's not getting correct information from his parents, from authentic sources, from his teachers, he'll be starting getting it from where? From wrong sources. So he'll have a wrong understanding, whatever that might be, including the religious teaching. If he is not getting correct and good teaching, he is likely to get a bad or wrong teaching from somewhere else. And that will create problem for him, for you later on, and for the whole society. Something that Islam does not want. And that is why the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam emphasized this concept of care for the children. On one occasion, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, that was the nephew of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was riding behind the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or he was cousin of the Messenger. He was the cousin of the Messenger. He was riding behind the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, "Oh boy," when he was still young, "shall I not teach you some good and important words?" Then the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, "Observe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He will preserve you." You observe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rules and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then don't worry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will preserve you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be there whenever you need Him. So the main, do your part of the equation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't worry about the other part. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do it. So here, He is guiding him to the most important aspect or basis of your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Observe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in whatever you do. Second, then he says, Be careful about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He will be there for you when you need Him. Then He will told him something also very important that many times we overlook. He says, know that if all people gather to benefit you, make a benefit for you, something very, they will not be able to do any benefit for you except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already foreordained that for you. They are but causes. The real causer is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not them. And know that if all people gather to harm you, they will not be able to inflict any harm on you except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already foreordained for you. The pens has been raised and the ink has dried. It's already over. So as you can understand here, the Messenger of Allah is instilling these very important bases in the child from young. So that whatever he will do only what is right. He will do only what is good. He will not do injustice because his boss is telling him. Because he fear for his job, for example. Because he fear for his salary and so on and so forth. He will not do that. He will do only what is right. Only what is good. Because he knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there. When he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is already there, he will have that very powerful belief with him. That they cannot do any harm for you. Don't worry. They fire you, they fired you because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already foreordained it for you. Maybe there is something better for you in the long run. But don't do injustice, don't do harm, don't do something wrong because of anybody else. Do what is right. So as you see, the Messenger is telling him the basis and then giving him a very powerful example of how he should be in his life. That is the correct teaching that you want to instill in children, because the problem nowadays is most of us are telling the children to do good deeds because of materialistic benefits. Study so that you will have a better job, so you'll have a better salary, so you'll have a higher pay. So the concept in his mind is only benefits. So he does not care about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't tell him seek knowledge so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love you. Seek knowledge so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise you in grace in heaven. Seek knowledge because the Messenger of Muhammad will love you, will be closer to the Messenger of Muhammad. That is better than extra worship, and so on and so forth. We are giving them a wrong understanding from the beginning. From day one, you are actually instilling some very twisted, strange ideas. Then you expect him when he grows up and becomes a man, you expect him, mashallah, to observe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. How is this possible? Throughout his life, he never heard any of that. So the problem is, sometimes we are giving them the wrong message. We are not observing this part of the equation that the Messenger of Muhammad told us about. Now on the other hand, if you manage to get some good and truthful and useful information and knowledge with education as well, in that child, the benefit will be for everyone. For the child himself, for you in this world and in the hereafter, and for the rest of society. The Messenger of Muhammad gave us glimpses of that. One of these 7 groups of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will shade in the shade of His throne will be, there will be no shade except the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A young man who grew up in righteousness, in goodness, in worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How could this be except that his father and mother, they were there for him, they educated him, they guided him from day one. Alhamdulillah, we're very happy we see so many young children here and young men. This is a great sign. Somebody took care of them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with this, which is great. By the way, other parts of those groups as well, there are 2 or 3 more only about young people as well. All of that is the result of this. So the person himself will benefit from that greatly. In this world, he will be remembered for his knowledge, for his education, for his good moral behavior and ethics. People will praise him, people will thank him for it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless him with good money and good life and so on and so forth. So he will benefit from that. You also, there is a benefit for you from that, not only in the society of course, but there is a benefit for you as per. The Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that by the time a person dies, all his action and deed will be over. Nothing extra. You have already accumulated so much rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's it. It's already over. Except for a few things that will remain after your death. One of them is a righteous son, a good son that will pray for him. So even after death, for God knows how many years, as long as you have left behind not a son, any child, no, but a righteous one. So the Messenger of Muhammad made the criteria. He has to be righteous. Subhanallah. Why is that? Actually, this is because of two things. First of all, if he was not righteous, most likely he will never remember you. He does not care about his own father. If he is not righteous, why would he care? As you see many times. So he prefers his own family, his own wife, his own children, and so on and so forth, and neglects the old people. Probably the best among them will be the one who will just throw you later on, when you are old enough, throw you in a daycare or somewhere, and that's it. That would be the good one, by the way, at that time. No, because he will not. He will be selfish. Most of the time, he will not care. So that is the critical part. The second one is that he will not be sincere even when he is praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't come from the heart. Because he is not worried about that. He is not thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not observing the rights and the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he will not observe that towards you as well. On the other hand, the righteous child, by the way, man or a boy or a girl, son or daughter, the righteous one will actually remember you all the time. In his daily supplication, in the morning, in the evening, in every salah, before, after each time, whenever he makes a prayer, he finishes it with praying for you, and so on and so forth. That is the concept. That is what you want. Because children are your biggest investment in this world and the hereafter. In this world, they are the one who will support you later on when you grow up. When you are in need, when you are old, they will carry your name and legacy. They are your remaining part in this world. Your seed in this world. The second part is in the hereafter. The best thing, as we said, you will still get accumulated rewards from them. They will also pray for your mercy and forgiveness. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us to pray for our parents. رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِ صَغِيرًا. Pray for them and say, رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِ صَغِيرًا. Oh Allah, have mercy upon them as they raised me young, as a child, when I was weak and in need. They were the one who took good care from me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them based on that. Imagine yourself in heaven in certain status somewhere, some type of grade 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, God knows which grade in heaven. And then suddenly out of nowhere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise you many grades in heaven without any apparent reason. It's already over, everything is already over. But suddenly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise you in grades. And you will be wondering, why is that? What is going on? What is the reason? The Messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually said this, and he answered it. He said, the man in heaven will be raised status and grades in heaven. And he will ask, why is that? For what reason? And they will tell him, it's because your child was seeking forgiveness for you. SubhanAllah. So your child there is seeking forgiveness for you, so that is why you are still, although you have accumulated all of the rewards and from your child, but still that will continue to raise you in grades. And this will continue, God knows for how long. Because as long as he and his children and his grandchildren continues, you will still get the rewards. It was you who started it. So you'll get the similar reward for whatever good deeds they do. So as you see, that is such a big investment that we should not waste. Sadly nowadays, we are thinking really about investment in this world. We're not thinking about the hereafter. What are you going to do later on? Not much. Imagine living in a country, going for a trip for a few days and coming back. Are you going to spend all your wealth in that 3 days where you are traveling? Or in your place where you are going to stay forever? So this world is actually very temporary. The most important thing is to prepare there, not this world. So that is the concept. That is the idea. There was this very strange story, but it's very practical. They used to have a king in one city, and that king will be appointed for 4 years. By the end of the 4 years, he can do whatever. But by the end of the 4 year, they will send him to a faraway island to live alone there till he dies. So the final day of the leadership of each one of them, that was a sad day for himself and for the whole city. A new king will be appointed. And usually that place is very difficult to live. It's a wilderness, and they will die very soon, either through from hunger or through other animals that harm them, and so on. One day a young king was appointed. So he didn't spend much on himself at that time. He didn't waste money and property. And instead, from day one in his leadership, he took a group of the army with him, and he went to visit that island where he will be sent to later on. And he checked it and he saw that it was an extremely dangerous place. He saw the remains of the previous kings, and it had many wild animals, very, very difficult place to be in, and it had not much of life support, very little thing to eat and to drink. So what he did is that he appointed people, he made a project for them to change that island, build a place for him there, kill the harmful animals there, remove some of the harmful trees and poisonous one, and instead plant some fruits and herbs and grains, and raise some animals that he can use there, make a small farm, and so on and so forth. He prepared it and made it a very nice place too. So by the end of the last day of his leadership, when he was leaving, people were saying farewell to him. Everybody was crying, but he was very happy. He didn't mind going there. He already made a place for him there where he can enjoy it forever, for as long as he wishes. Now that idea, that very strange story that you made, actually fits for this world and the hereafter. That is the whole idea, the whole concept. You want, at the day of your death, you want to be happy, not sad, not afraid. You have already done something, you have already prepared for yourself in the hereafter. That is the whole idea. Don't spend everything, don't make all your project in this world. Prepare something for it. It's very easy to build houses, palaces, and places, and every kind of thing. You can't do that. And it's very simple. It doesn't even need money. It is that simple. But most people don't do it. That is the critical problem. We are not thinking. You were probably not raised we were not raised in a correct form. We have not been educated. That is the mistake sometimes we are doing to our children. We are not preparing them for this understanding. The main goal should be the hereafter. It doesn't mean that you neglect this world. No. You have to have balance and moderation all the time. But the main goal should be in the hereafter. Those are the correct understanding that you have to offer your children. If you neglect that, they might get their understanding from wrong sources. And that is what is creating all these extremism and wrong ideas and terrorism. Because they didn't get correct information. So they are misled with whatever they are hearing. They have that emotion and they do not know what to do. No knowledge, no education. And that is a very dangerous thing to be. So neglecting that will backfire for you and everybody else. So we have to take good care of our children. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this bless. Do our responsibility towards them. Do the best to educate them and prepare them in this world and in the hereafter. Try to prepare them for the best. And as we said, that is your best investment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guard us and protect our children and choose the best for us in this world and the hereafter, and make us good for ourselves, for our families and children, for our neighbors and societies, and for all of humanity. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira.